Do you feel exhausted and paralyzed at the end of a completely normal day? Have you spent your entire life hearing that you are too emotional or too sensitive? You might belong to the 20% of population known as highly sensitive people. You process reality on frequency that would literally crush the people telling you to toughen up. In this episode, we are going to look inside the highly sensitive brain to see what is really happening, why this trait is a double-edged sword, and most importantly, what you can do to effectively manage it. I am Tomasz, and this is Clinical Breakdown. Most of those people don't know it. They simply feel that something's wrong. They feel too much and they think too much. In consequences, they exhaust themselves very quickly. Since they have no idea this is a biological trait, they bow to the pressure of their environment. They try to fit in. They force themselves to adapt. And as a result, they slowly cut themselves off from who they really are. So let's start by explaining what high sensitivity really is. It's not simply being too emotional. It is a measurable biological trait. High sensitivity people process information more deeply. Their nervous system reacts faster and returns to balance more slowly. This means that more stimuli stay for longer. And now imagine two people entering the same room. The first one enters, hears the music, and simply sits down. The second one, notice the light, the tone of conversations, body language, subtle tension, everything all at once. This person is not overanalyzing. Their brain is simply processing more layers of reality. And this comes at a price. High sensitivity people, due to the fact that their brain filters less, are more prone to overload. More information gets through and less of it gets ignored. That in turn creates a constant load in the background, and over time, this leads to fatigue, tension, and overwhelm. Two common examples. The first, social situation. You go out with friends to have a good time, but after 2 hours you are completely drained and you just want to go home. Why? Because you weren't just listening to the conversation. Your brain was in the same time processing the loud music, the flickering light, and that slight nervousness in the air because two of your friends kept throwing sarcastic comment at each other. Decision making. For HSP, there is no such a thing as simple choice. Even writing a basic email to your boss or picking a restaurant for a group of friends can paralyze you. Your brain automatically runs through 50 different scenarios. What if they misinterpreted my tone? What if this place is too loud for Sarah? You take into account so many hidden variables that the process itself burns you out. And this is where most highly sensitive people make a massive mistake. When the overwhelm hits, they try to push through. They grab another coffee, force a smile, and pretend that they are fine, but you cannot outwill a biological response. Pushing through doesn't work. It only leads to a complete nervous system shutdown. If we would look at these people on the brain level, they have stronger activity in the brain areas associated with empathy and awareness. This means that they not only notice emotions, they actually take them on. Even the stress of other people, for high sensitivity people, can be felt as their own. Over time, boundaries begin to blur. You react to things that never belonged to you, and then sensitivity turns into chronic tension. But there is something else. High sensitivity is strongly linked to so-called differential susceptibility. This means that exact same trait that increases vulnerability to a negative environment also increases the response to positive stimuli. In other words, you not only feel difficult things more strongly, you also have the ability to feel good things as intensely. Since you can't just get rid of this biological trait, fighting is pointless. But we actually have clinical data on that what works. An experimental study on high sensitivity people showed that an 8-week mindfulness-based stress reduction program drastically reduced their stress and social anxiety. Here's exactly what they did to achieve this. First, Stop fighting the input. For years, you've probably tried to just block out the noise. This study took the opposite approach. The goal is to orient yourself to the experience of present moment with mild, non-judgmental and open attention. You are encouraged to allow and observe unpleasant thoughts and feelings without judging and fighting them. Because high sensitivity people wrestle with intense inner dialogue and images. Learning to accept this continuous stimulation instead of resisting it is what actually can help you break the cycle of anxiety. Second, 3 physical resets. High sensitivity people don't need rest. This has to have a structure. The participants in that study achieved massive results using 3 specific exercises. First, the body scan, where you pay systematic attention to whole body and perceive sensations in various parts. Second, this is sitting meditation, which draws your attention directly to your breath, physical sensation, thoughts, and emotions. Third, yoga exercises, involving stretching and striking poses to increase your awareness of the muscular system. And the 45 minutes commitment. You cannot outwill your biological response, you have to train it. The participants who saw a huge drop in their burnout committed to spending at least 45 minutes daily, 6 days a week, conducting those exact exercises to stay on track. They often used audio recordings to guide their body scans and meditations. And here a noticeable change begins. When you stop fighting the overwhelm and you start observing it without judgment, the overload drops. But your strength remains. You still notice more, you still think deeper. Only now it doesn't exhaust you so hard. When it comes to highly sensitive people, you need to understand one thing. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You simply possess a unique set of biological traits that the modern world wasn't designed for. But because society tells you otherwise, most HSPs grow up believing they are too much or not enough. So they feel forced to adapt. And over time, they lose access to what used to be their greatest strength. High sensitivity, when properly regulated, becomes precision. You see signals that others people completely miss. You are able to make better long-term decisions. And definitely, you are able to build deeper connections. And in the right environment, you can thrive. If any of this resonated with you, it is not a coincidence. And now that you can see it, you can finally start working with it instead of fighting it. This is Clinical Breakdown. My question for today is, in what situation do you most often feel overloaded, but you can't quite explain why?